Have you ever felt like the more serious you got about God, the fewer people understood you? Not because you became arrogant, not because you thought you were better, but because you stopped being the version of you they were used to. The version that stayed quiet, the version that followed the crowd, the version that ignored conviction, the version that kept shrinking so everyone else could stay comfortable. And that's when the criticism started. You're acting different. You've changed. You take this God stuff too seriously. But what if that's exactly the point? Because God never called his people to blend in. He called them to stand apart. The problem is, most people want the blessing of being set apart without the loneliness of being set apart. They want the calling without the sacrifice, the purpose without the pressure, the crown without the cross. But every person God used in a powerful way had one thing in common. They were different. Noah was different. While everyone laughed, he kept building. David was different. While everyone else saw a giant, he saw an opportunity for God to move. Daniel was different. While everyone else compromised, he stayed faithful. And Jesus was different. So different that the very people he came to save rejected him. Think about that. If Jesus was rejected for being different, why are you shocked when everyone doesn't understand you? Why are you surprised when obedience costs you something? Why are you surprised when growth makes some people uncomfortable? The truth is, people often love the version of you that requires nothing from them. The broken version, the insecure version, the distracted version, the version that never challenges them. But when you start healing, when you start growing, when you start walking in purpose, something changes, because your growth becomes a reminder of what they're avoiding. And not everyone likes that reminder. That's why some people cheered for you when you were struggling, but got quiet when you started changing. Not because you did something wrong, because your transformation exposed their excuses. Listen carefully. You cannot become who God created you to be and stay who everyone wants you to be. One of those versions has to die. The crowd will always ask you to lower your standards, lower your convictions, lower your expectations, lower your faith. Because it's easier for them if you stay small. But God is not calling you to stay small. He is calling you higher. Higher thinking, higher discipline, higher character, higher faith. And every level comes with separation. There are rooms you can no longer fit in, conversations you can no longer enjoy, habits you can no longer justify. Not because you're better than anybody, because you're becoming different. And that's what many people misunderstand. Being set apart isn't about pride, it's about purpose. A surgeon is set apart for surgery. A judge is set apart for judgment. And a child of God is set apart for purpose. You were never created to be another copy of everybody else. You were never created to spend your life chasing approval. You were never created to silence your convictions just to fit into rooms God never assigned you to. You were created with intention, with purpose, with calling, and yes, that may mean walking alone sometimes. It may mean being misunderstood. It may mean losing people who only like the version of you that had no direction. But never confuse being alone with being abandoned. Because some of the greatest things God does in the person's life happen after separation, after the crowd leaves, after the noise fades, after the distractions disappear. That's when purpose becomes clear. So if you've been feeling different lately, good. If you've been feeling out of place, Good. If you've been feeling like you don't fit where you used to fit, good. Maybe you're not losing yourself. Maybe you're finally finding the person God created you to be. Because God didn't create you to blend in. He created you to be set apart.